Hi Capricorn, and welcome to your May 2020 general reading. So I've already laid out the cards because the uploading time, I'm sorry, is just taking about 2 hours per video, and I've only got today to try and finish these, so I hope you don't mind. Your additional guidance card is Yang, so there's a call to some sort of action here that needs to be taken. Now, you've got some sort of change process going on here because you've got 2 5s showing up and you've got 2 knights. So the knights bring change and they bring movement. So the cards in the last week of April, you've got the 5 of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. There seems to be an awful lot of slowness around your resources, okay? So maybe a little bit of concern about the time things are taking to move. The good news is you've got the 6 showing up in your money and work. So the 6s bring back harmony. So after the 5s the 5s are generally struggle cards, and then the 6s restore the balance. So I think what's happening here, Capricorn, is you're actually leaving the 5 of Pentacles behind, and the flow is going to start increasing with that 6 of Pentacles. Now, what you want is the 5 of Swords. So I don't know if there's been some sort of conflict here with someone, because the gift is the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups tends to come forward offering his cup. So he's maybe offering a gift, he's maybe offering some sort of bridge between you and that person. So you haven't got the mending card, but I did turn around and the mending card was here. So quite a lot of people are getting this card. The 5 of Swords talks about some sort of words that have been spoken with someone else that's caused some hurt and some damage. It might have been a conflict, it might have been some sort of argument, but it's a division between you and someone else. And I think because of the rest of the cards is you want this conflict to end and you want mending. The Knight of Cups tends to be someone who comes offering their cup. So imagine the cup is asking for an apology. It's about an energy, an emotional energy that bridges this conflict between you and someone else. And this is definitely relational because you've got the Ace of Wands in your relationship house. So the Ace of Wands is an initiation energy. It's moving forward, it's very yang, it's very active. And because of the Knight of Cups as the gift, these are both very, very active principles. And there seems to be some opportunity, some sort of offer, some sort of conversation that's going to happen. So tell me more about this 5 of Swords. What's that about? It looks like it's been some sort of conflict that's happened. Yeah. So the 6 of Cups is about reconnection and reconciliation. The 5 of Swords tends to be a split between you and someone else. And obviously what you want, Capricorn, is this split to mend. I had a feeling that's what it was saying. And the 6 of Cups has sort of clarified it. The 6 of Cups is a card of connection, reconciliation, hitting the sweet spot, getting what you want. And the Knight of Cups is helping you get that, which means that 5 of Swords has been some sort of conflict that's happened with someone. Yeah. It's extremely common, and mending is showing up as a theme for most people, by the way. So it's very, very common. So there's been a lot of words spoken. There's been a lot of things said that a lot of us would normally say, but because the trauma level's quite high for a lot of people, and there's a lot of acting out going on, Because the Five of Pentacles doesn't even have to be about finances. Again, it can be the divide between you and someone else. And it looks like someone is trying to heal this rift. If this isn't financial, it's a division, it's walls that have gone up between you and someone else. And what this is about a reconciliation, a reconnection. Now the challenge is the King of Wands. So why is he the challenge, please? The King of Wands might be a fire sign person, but it's also about, it's a very passionate energy. It tends to be extremely sexual in nature, because all the wands are. And again, this is showing up in your relationship house. Some of you might be torn between two people. What's this King of Wands about as a challenge, please? Ace of Pentacles. There's definitely a story going on here around your resources. Now, the good news is in your money and work, you've got the Six of Pentacles. So when you get to the sixes, life begins to flow again. So, I mean, what you're looking for here is an emotional flow, but this is also a financial flow. This could be about receiving support, it could be about giving it, but things are flowing in the Six of Pentacles. So I don't know what this challenge is for this King of Wands. If the challenge was just the Ace of Pentacles, it'd be about getting a new job, getting something off the ground, getting some sort of energy to keep moving. It might be with the King of Wands, or the King of Wands might be sitting on his throne so much that there's a feeling that nothing's moving, because this King of Wands he's very passionate, very, very sexual, but he doesn't make a move. And maybe this is talking about this feeling that your financial world is not moving, which is going to be the case for a lot of people. Now, this Ace of Wands is showing up in your relationships. This is about passion, it's about sexuality, and it's with the Two of Cups. So this is clearly some sort of connection. I think the connection is coming from this Knight. And maybe that King of Wands is the challenge, is even though this Knight and this connection's here, the two of you can't meet because of circumstances. So you're having to literally sit on the energy. You cannot go forward. You can't do anything about it. That's sort of going to be the case for an awful lot of people. Okay? But I think this is the mending of a bond. I really do think there's a mending of a bond. So tell me more about the Six of Pentacles in your money and work. Yeah, it's with the Wheel. So things are going to start to flow for you this month. Yeah. Because I would say with these two cards behind you, nothing's been flowing. I even think with the King of Wands as a feeling, as a challenge, that nothing much has been moving for you. Yeah. A feeling of, which has really, really been the universal theme, Capricorn. And also I'm finding a really big theme is mending. Because a lot of people are reconsidering their value system about what they really want. So a lot of, when we reconsider our values, we begin to realise what's important in our lives, what our heart truly wants. So a lot of bridges are going to start to be healed. So let me carry on. Now, why is the Eight of Cups at a soul level? Because this is so strange. Because there's a funny old feeling. There's a lot of movement. But there's something, with that King of Wands is a challenge with the Ace of Pentacles. It's like birthing something or getting it off the ground is the challenge. What is the Eight of Cups about at a soul level, please? because this is very, very much about inner reflection. Certain cards really, really represent, okay, you've got the Strength card who's looking right at this Knight of Cups. And I think some of you are looking at this Knight of Cups and saying, is this for real? Can my needs actually be met by this Knight? Is this going anywhere? And there's a little bit of a conflicting picture here. Because even though there's mending, there's obviously some relationship here. There's a challenge with the igniting of the situation. So you might live in separate places and you might not be able to get together. There's that sort of energy here. And with the Eight of Cups and the Strength card, so the Strength card is looking up at this Knight of Cups, but the Eight of Cups is turning his back, and there's so many contradictions in this reading, okay? We don't worry about contradictions. We live in a time where everything's a contradiction. It seems like everything's turned upside down, Capricorn. We're not going to be able to make sense of very little at the moment. We need to try and live in the day. We need to look after what's important and maybe reassess what our value systems are. But there's clearly a relationship, but for some reason, this relationship is not straightforward. Is it ever? But the gift is definitely this relationship. There's definitely movement around your finances, and the Empress is an outcome. And the Empress is probably one of the most prosperous people in the deck. She's also about love. Now, she holds the Venus symbol. So love is now in your hands. But a lot of the challenge of the reading is almost about, because the Knight of Cups, okay, the Knight of Cups is this energy. Sometimes the Knight of Cups is in love with love. So he comes in and he goes right back out again. Yeah, he not always, by the way, but he can be. It's when it gets to a king that things become a bit more serious. And the King of Wands as a challenge, and you in that Eight of Cups with the Strength card, it's almost like some of you are really questioning. Sorry, can I just move things? Is there hope for this relationship? Is it going anywhere? There's a lot of questioning about that. But another part of you is looking right up at that Knight and willing to take risks, to give it a go, to follow your heart, regardless of any doubts, because that Eight of Cups tends to cast doubts. It's an inner search. It's a sort of feeling of, oh, this isn't going to go anywhere. And then you seem to turn around and access this energy of strength and almost open yourself up to this Knight. And that's why the Empress is the outcome. Yeah, because the Empress is with the Ace of Cups. So she's just love, love, and love. Yeah. But what's so good about the Empress? This is love that's you can touch and you can see and you can feel. Yeah. So sensuality, sharing your life with someone, opening your heart to someone. But there's something a little bit complicated about this, Capricorn. There really, really is. I think some of you might be in a situation that maybe this King of Wands is someone else. So there's a sort of split between two people. But I think mostly we're talking about a relationship that I think, some relationship connection that's gone through the mill, to say the least, with those two fives. So there's been a lot of separation, there's been a lot of conflict. And the Knight of Cups is the energy that comes trying to heal this rift. But for some reason, you're not completely sure about it. You're almost thinking, can I get what I need from this? Can I get the Ten of Cups from this night? There's that sort of questioning. And very, very interesting. Something's beginning to flow around your finances. Now, what you want in a reading is for the sixes to come up with the fives. Because what it's saying in the same month, that there's going to be a flow. Things are going to start to move. There's going to be progress away from the fives. I don't think that's only going to be in finances. I think it's going to be in relationships as well as finances. Things are going to start to progress, to move, and it's going to one beautiful ending with that Empress and that Ace of Cups. So let me have a look a little bit more. I've had to do this for a few signs, and I only do one card, who you represent, who they represent, and a connecting card. So who's Capricorn? So you're the Fool. Who are they then? One card to represent who they are. Because the Fool's very ready and able and willing. Beautiful card to show up here, by the way. They're the Nine of Cups. And what card connects yours? Okay, you've got a really complex story because you've got the Hermit, yeah. Which would make sense because there was a feeling of disconnection, even though there was going to be communication. Something wasn't Eight of Cups, like you were reconciling but not connecting yet. Oh gosh, this is so complex. And then you get the Temperance card. So the Temperance card comes right after the Death card. So it's got a real vulnerability about it. But vulnerability, we need vulnerability to love. Someone who won't be vulnerable cannot open themselves to love. Because we can't love someone who's got all the walls up. It's impossible. And Temperance talks about this willingness to be vulnerable, to be seen. Okay, so it's a very beautiful, quite a very high relationship card because it talks about a perfect blending. But the irony continues because the Hermit's there. So that, again, this could be a classic example of meeting someone online. So you're not actually meeting up yet. But a relationship's building. And even though Capricorn is a little bit of your energy that's questioning it with the Eight of Cups and the Strength card, a part of you's turning away. And we tend to turn away when we think, been here before. But another part of you, the Strength card, ruling the heart, is looking right up at that Knight of Cups and willing to take risks, willing to be vulnerable, willing to be seen. Because you can't love if you're not willing to be seen. And that's really, really... Be willing to be seen, Capricorn. We've all got a history of so many broken hearts behind us. But we don't want to live our lives behind walls, do we? So the only taking risks, because you want to take risks, but there's a strange combination of cards, and this is such a complicated reading. But there's someone watching it and it's their message, and all I can ever do is turn up and deliver and try and make sense of a very, very, very confusing reading. But it's like you're willing to take this risk, and almost like the two of you are willing to be vulnerable. But at the same time, the Hermit is someone who's on his own. They're on. So I wonder if a lot of it is communication over the phone, by texting, emailing, but not yet connecting. I think the Empress is what will bring an end to that, because the Empress is very much about real life connection. And maybe there's a part of you thinking, oh, until I'm actually there, I'm not going to give this any energy, which I think is good mental health, by the way. Anyhow, Capricorn, most confusing reading ever, but I hope it helps someone. Much love to you all. Bye.